Hello everyone, welcome to ITLS Academy. Here we are going to continue our lecture on biology of microorganism. This is the continuation part of the bacteria. The left out properties of the bacteria we are going to discuss in this lecture. Bacterial reproduction and growth kinetics. First of all, we will discuss multiplication and division cycle. The majority of bacterial cells multiply in numbers by a process of binary fission. Binary fission is a type of asexual reproduction where a parent cell divide resulting in two identical cells, each having the potential to grow to the size of the original cells. Binary fission is common among prokaryotes, that is archaea, eubacteria, cyanobacteria and certain protozoans. Conceptually, this is a simple process. A cell just needs to grow twice its starting size and then split in two. But to remain viable and competitive, a bacterium must divide at the right time in the right place and must provide each offspring with a complete copy of its essential genetic material. At the point of separation, each daughter cell must be capable of growth and reproduction. While each daughter cell will automatically contain those materials that are dispersed throughout the mother cell, that are mRNA, rRNA, ribosome, enzymes, cytochromes, etc. Each must also carry at least one copy of the chromosome. The bacterial chromosome is circular and attached to the cytoplasmic membrane where it is able to uncoil during DNA replication. The process of DNA replication proceeds at a fixed rate dependent upon temperature. Therefore, the time taken to copy an entire chromosome depends on the number of base pairs within it and the growth temperature. These copies of the chromosome must then segregate to opposite sides of the cell before cell division can proceed. Division occurs in different ways for gram-positive and gram-negative bacteria. Gram-negative cells do not have a rigid cell wall and divide by a process of constriction followed by membrane fusion. Gram-positive cells, on the other hand, having a rigid cell wall, must develop a cross wall that divides the cell into two equal halves. Constriction and cross wall formation takes approximately 15 minutes to complete. DNA replication, chromosome segregation and cell division occur sequentially in slow growing cells with generation time of greater than 1 hour and are the final events of the bacterial cell cycle. Now come to the population growth. When placed in favorable conditions, population of bacteria can increase at remarkable rates given that each division gives rise to two identical daughter cells, then each has the potential to divide again. Thus, cell number will increase exponentially as a function of time. For a microorganism growing with a generation time of 20 minutes, one cell will have divided 3 times within an hour to give a total of 8 cells. The time interval between one cell division and the next is called the generation time. When considering a growing culture containing thousands of cells, a mean generation time is usually calculated. It is how growth is calculated, that is, growth calculation. As one cell doubles to become 2 cells, which then multiply to become 4 cells, and so on, the number of bacteria in any generation can be expressed as G is equal to T divided by N. Here the T is the time of exponential growth, G is the generation time, and the N is the number of generation. We can say the formula as Nt is equal to N naught into 2 to the power N. Here Nt is the number of cells at a certain time point. N naught is the initial number of cells and N is the number of generations. We can derive the formula by this method. This is the method by which we will found the formula, that is N is equal to 3.3 into log Nt minus log N naught. Here is the bacterial growth curve. The actual generation time is calculated by dividing x into t, where t represents the hours or minutes of exponential growth. Growth phase is the bacterial growth curve shows the following 4 distinct phases. These phases are lag phase, log phase, stationary, and dead or decline phase. Phases of growth curve of bacteria are shown here. There are 4 phases as we have seen. Let us discuss all these phases in detail one by one. First of all, we are going to discuss lag phase. The time between inoculation and beginning of multiplication is known as the lag phase. After a liquid culture broth is inoculated, the multiplication of bacteria does not start immediately. It takes some time to multiply. In this phase, the inoculated bacteria becomes acclimatized to the environment, switch on various enzymes, and adjust to the environmental temperature and atmospheric conditions. During this phase, there is an increase in size of bacteria but no appreciable increase in number of bacterial cells. The cells are active metabolically. The duration of lag phase varies with so we are going to discuss the variation, the points of lag phase in the detail, as we know that the duration of lag phase varies with the bacterial species, nature of culture medium, incubation temperature, etc., and it may vary from 1 hour to several hours. Here comes the next phase of bacterial growth, that is log phase. This phase is characterized by rapid exponential cell growth, that is 1 to 2, 2 to 4 to 8 and so on. The bacterial population doubles during every generation. They multiply at their maximum rate. The bacterial cells are small and uniformly stained. The microbes are sensitive to adverse conditions such as antibiotics and other antimicrobial agents. The growth rate is greatest during the log phase. The log phase is always brief, unless the rapidly dividing culture is maintained by constant addition of nutrients and frequent removal of waste products. When plotted on logarithmic graph paper, the log phase appears as a steeply sloped straight line. Here is our next phase, that is stationary phase. After log phase, the bacterial growth almost stops completely due to lack of essential nutrients, lack of water, oxygen, change in pH of the medium, etc., and accumulation of their own toxic metabolic waste. It is during this phase that the culture is at its greatest population density. However, death rate of bacteria exceeds the rate of replication of bacteria. Endospores start forming during this stage. Bacteria become gram variable and show irregular staining. Here many bacteria also start producing exotoxins. Here is our last phase, that is decline or death phase. During this phase, the bacterial population declines due to death of cells. Involution forms are common in this stage. Some cells assume various shape, becoming long, filamentous, rod or branching or globular forms that are difficult to identify. The decline phase starts due to accumulation of toxic products and autolytic enzymes and exhaustion of nutrients. When these involuted forms are inoculated into fresh nutrient medium, they usually revert to the original shape of the healthy bacteria. Some shells develop without a cell wall and are referred to as protoplast, spheroplast, or L phase variants that are L forms. Here are the methods of growth of bacteria are given. In this particular topic, we will see the methods of reproduction or generation of bacteria, by which bacteria reproduce and it multiply and it replicates its DNA and forms two cells from one. The first method of growth is transformation. In 1928, Griffith noticed that a culture of Streptococcus pneumoniae that had mutated to become deficient in capsule production could be restored to its normal capsulated form by incubation with a cell-free filtrate taken from a culture of the normal strain. It demonstrated the ability of certain type of bacteria to absorb small pieces of naked DNA from the environment that may recombine into the recipient chromosome. The process has become known as transformation and is likely to occur naturally in situations such as septic abscess and in biofilms where high cell densities are associated with death and lysis of significant portion of the population. Transformation is also exploited in molecular biology as a mean of transferring genes between different types of bacteria. Here is the next method of growth or reproduction is the transduction. There is a group of viruses called bacteriophages which have bacterial cells as their host. These bacteriophages inject viral DNA into the host cell. This viral DNA is then replicated and transcribed at the expense of the host and assembled into new viral particles. Under normal circumstances, the host cell becomes lysed in order to release the viral progeny, but in exceptional circumstances, rather than enter a replication cycle in viral DNA becomes incorporated by recombination into the chromosome of the bacterium. The viral DNA thus forms part of the bacterial chromosome and will be copied to all daughter cells. Temperate phase will become active once again at a low frequency and phasing between temperate and lytic forms, ensuring the long-term survival of the virus. The resultant virus may then either be defective if viral DNA has been lost, or it may carry additional DNA of bacterial origin. Subsequent temperate infections caused by the latter virion will result in the bacterial DNA having moved between cells, a process of gene movement known as transduction. Here is the third and last process of the growth of bacteria, that is conjugation. Conjugation is thought to have evolved through transduction and relates to the generation of defective viral DNA. This can be transcribed to produce singular viral elements which cannot assemble or lyse the host cell. The simplest form of plasmid, the F factor, or known as fertility factor. This can be transcribed at the cell membrane to generate an F pilus within the shell envelope, and the shell containing an F factor as designated F positive. The F pilus is a hollow appendage that is capable of transferring DNA from one shell to another through a process that is very similar to the injection of viral DNA into a shell during infection. F factor will simply transfer a copy of a recipient cell, and such a transfer process is known as conjugation. If the transported DNA encoded a mechanism of antibiotic resistance, then it would not be difficult to imagine how whole population could rapidly acquire the resistance characteristics. Environmental factors that influence growth and survival. The rate of growth of a microbial population depends upon the nature and availability of water and nutrients, temperature, pH, the partial pressure of oxygen, and solute concentrations. In many laboratory experiments, the microorganisms are provided with an excess of complex organic nutrients and are maintained at optimal pH and temperature. This enables growth to be very rapid and the result visualized within a relatively short time period. Bacteria have a minimum, optimum, and maximum temperature for growth and can be divided into three groups based on their optimum growth temperature. These groups are psychrophiles, mesophiles, thermophiles, or hyperthermophiles. Psychrophiles are the organism living in extreme cold environment. These type of organism can withstand the temperature up to -20 degrees centigrade. Mesophiles are the organism living in the normal environment, or we can say the temperature range between 25 to 35 degrees centigrade. Thermophiles are the organism living in a temperature range of more than 70 degrees centigrade. These are the organism can withstand the temperature more than 100 degree, and these can withstand a higher temperature. Thermophiles are used in the recombinant DNA technology due to their property of experiencing a high temperature. The enzymes extracted from the thermophiles do not degrade at higher temperature. So this is a very crucial step in the recombinant DNA technology, to use an enzyme that do not degrade at the higher temperature. Other are hyperthermophiles. These are organisms that can withstand the temperature more than 100 degrees centigrade. Bacteria show a great deal of variation in their requirements for gaseous oxygen. Most can be placed in one of the following groups, that are obligate aerobes, microaerophiles, obligate anaerobes, aerotolerant anaerobes, or facultative anaerobes. Let us discuss all these in one by one. Obligate aerobes are the organisms that cannot survive without oxygen. Oxygen is necessary for their life or for their survival. Microaerophiles are the organisms that require a less quantity of oxygen for their growth and survival. Obligate aerobes, anaerobes are the organisms that cannot tolerate even a minute amount of the oxygen. These are organisms which grow in the absence of oxygen. Aerotolerant are organisms that can tolerate oxygen sometimes. Anaerobes are the aerotolerant anaerobes are the organisms that can tolerate oxygen sometimes, or facultative anaerobes are the microorganisms that can survive in oxygen sometimes. Microorganisms can be placed in one of the following groups based on their optimum pH requirements, that are neutrophiles, acidophiles, or alkylophiles. Neutrophiles are the organisms surviving in the neutral pH range. Acidophiles are the organisms that survive in extreme pH range, that is from 1 to 7. Alkylophiles are the organisms that survive in basic conditions and in the pH range of 7 to 14. A bacterium's osmotic environment can affect bacterial growth. Osmotic environment can affect bacterial growth, and sometimes it stops the growth of bacteria. Bacteria can be grouped according to their energy source as phototrophs or chemotrophs. Phototrophs are the organisms that acquire their energy from the light or sunlight. and chemotrophs are the organisms that gain their energy for the growth from the chemical or organic substances. Bacteria can be grouped according to their carbon source as autotrophs or heterotrophs. The bacteria that acquire their energy from the green vegetables or green sources, the carbon source of these bacteria are green plants. These bacteria are known as autotrophs, or heterotrophs are the organism that survives on chemical or organic substances. Combining their nutritional pattern, all organisms in nature can be placed into one of four separate groups, that are photoautotrophs, photoheterotrophs, chemoautotrophs, and chemoheterotrophs. Bacteria also need a nitrogen source, various minerals, and water for growth. Organisms having complex nutritional requirements and needing many growth factors are said to be fastidious. Here are the temperatures that can affect the growth and survival of the bacteria. These factors may be biotic, abiotic, intrinsic and extrinsic factors. Here is the division on the basis of intrinsic and extrinsic factors. Let us see one by one what are intrinsic factors. Intrinsic factors include water activity, pH value, redox potential, available oxygen, nutrients, natural microflora, biochemical products, and preservatives.